Welcome to part 2 of the Brightspace Foundations training, where we will cover communication tools. There are two primary ways to communicate out information to your students in Brightspace: email and announcements. We will start with sending an email to the whole class. As a reminder, when you send an email through Brightspace, it goes to your student's CCC email account outside of Brightspace. And when students reply to those emails, you will receive the reply to your CCC email account, not in Brightspace. If you want to use messaging inside of Brightspace, you would use the instant message tool, but our recommendation is to use email, as the instant messaging tool requires that you are logged into Brightspace in order to view any messages. No notifications will be sent to your email for instant messages. You can quickly send an email to your entire class from the Classlist tool in Brightspace. This is useful when you want to send information directly to your students' email. First, click on Classlist from the navbar and select Classlist again from the menu. Just a note, you can also get to the class list from Course Admin. From the class list page, click on the button at the top of the page labeled Email Class List. This will ensure all enrolled users are included in the email. On the Email Class List page, scroll to the very bottom and click Send Email in order to compose your message. All users will appear in the BCC section of the email, blind copied. Add a subject in the body of your email and click Send. You should also receive a copy of the email to your CCC email account. Next, we'll cover announcements. Similar to sending an email, announcements can be used to communicate with students directly in your Brightspace course. You can think of them as informative posts that stay on the course homepage. Announcements can help engage your students and keep them informed. They can be used as reminders for students or to let them know what's happening in the course that week. From the course home, click the drop-down arrow next to the announcement widget and select New Announcement from the menu. Note that you can also access the announcement tool from Course Admin. On the New Announcement page, add a headline, which is your subject, and content, which is your message. For instance, your headline for a first announcement for the class might be Welcome. And your content may be a welcome message to your students introducing yourself, the expectations for the class, and instructions for what students should do to get started. On the next slide, we will talk more in depth about the formatting tools available on the Brightspace editor, which is the text box you see here. Pause the video now and take a moment to type your first announcement to your class. You don't have to publish it yet, as we will talk about the other settings in a moment. Now that you've typed up a quick first announcement, let's talk a little bit about the Brightspace editor. The Brightspace editor has some powerful features that I want to highlight. These tools are available to you anywhere you see this editor. For instance, when you're adding content to your course, creating assignments, adding descriptions, or in your instructions. The first section includes your primary formatting tools, similar to what you'd see in Microsoft Word: bold, italics, underline, bullets and numberings, font, color, and so on. But then, next to those, we have some really special tools. The first set of tools we want to highlight is called Insert Stuff. Under Insert Stuff is where we can add files, insert images, embed YouTube videos, and even record a video note. Video notes are a great way to add a personal touch to your announcements, content, or even feedback. To record a video note, click Insert Stuff, and then click Video Note from the menu. You'll need a webcam and microphone to use this tool. Many instructors like to use this tool to record a welcome message to students or to break up some of the text-heavy content. The next tool we want to highlight is the Quick Link icon. Many of us are already familiar with this icon and know that it's what we can use to insert a link to an external website. But in Brightspace, this tool can do so much more. This tool can be used to insert what Brightspace calls quick links, which is a link directly to specific content in your course. For instance, imagine it's week 6 and you are posting an announcement at the end of the week reminding students they only have a few more days to submit a big project. You can use the quick link icon to add a link to the announcement that will take students directly to the submission page for that big project. This way they don't have to go searching for that assignment submission page when they're getting ready to submit. You've given them a shortcut right from your announcement. Just keep in mind, you have to have the items already created in the course in order to link to them. The last thing I want to highlight is in this group of tools in the bottom middle. Here we have the accessibility checker, which will ensure your content includes headers when necessary, correct color contrast of font, and alt text on images, all of which are important to keep your course content accessible. Finally, there is one more cool feature in Brightspace Editor to share, and that is the replace strings. There are a number of replace strings that Brightspace has built in, such as first name, last name, or unit name, etc. By far the most common one used is the first or last name, and it helps you personalize your messaging and content and in announcements. When you put the word first name in curly brackets without spaces, it will display the user's name who is viewing that announcement. You can preview this to make sure it's set up correctly by clicking this preview icon. Don't be alarmed when you see your own name, as it is programmed to display the name of the user who is logged in and viewing it. Pause the recording now and try out a couple of the features found in the Brightspace editor. You can try creating a video note, or adding an image or a YouTube video, or a replace string, or change the font or formatting. Once you've added some fun and frill to your announcement, we will talk about the final settings before publishing the announcement. Once you finish your announcement, you're ready to save it, publish it, or schedule it. The start date is when the announcement will be visible to students. The end date is when the announcement will be removed and no longer visible to students. You can leave the end date blank if you want the announcement to always be visible. You can attach files if you want, or add release conditions. Just a note, we will not cover release conditions in the Foundations training, but this tool allows you to release content based on a set of conditions, or rules. Finally, when you click Publish, the announcement will be visible immediately or scheduled based on your start date. Alternatively, you can save as draft if you are still working on it and need to come back to it later. When you click Publish, which is the same as Save, you will be taken to the full announcement tool. Click back on Course Home to view the announcement there. To edit the announcement, you will click on the drop-down arrow of the announcement title and select Edit. Similarly, you can delete an announcement from the same menu by selecting Delete. An important note, the X to the right of your announcement is not a delete button. This will not delete your announcement. It will simply remove it from your view, which is called Dismiss. Students will still see the announcement, so you must delete announcements you don't want them to see by selecting the drop-down and clicking Delete. Or you can click on the Announcements tool and delete old announcements from there. Feel free to spend some time creating, editing, and deleting announcements in order to get comfortable with the announcement tool. This concludes the video on communication tools.